actually sit down on this. Cheers, man. Cheers. So, as I was saying, welcome to the
Inaugural?
Inaugural. Why am I'm trying to throw in an extra U there. Inaugural. It's not inaugural. The inaugural show for Just the Artist. I am Jody Shannon, and this is... Welcome to the inaugural show of Just the Artist. As you can see, it's official because, that's us right there. That's me, Jody Shannon. Probably have a different nose than that, but it kind of picks out the whole thing, what's going on. I would say that's
Aaron Hunt Shannon.
Oh!
So what's weird is this doesn't have a beard, and I have a beard right now, but that's not a normal thing, so don't get used to that. Yeah, so we're Just the Artists, and we're going to be doing a podcast on essentially just art. I mean, it's literally called Just the Artists.
Yeah, the goal, or a personal goal of mine, a personal opinionated goal, I wanted to create something that kind of went against the whole thing that I got when I was growing up. It was get a real job if you were an artist, starving artist. And I found as time went by, as I started getting older and technology started advancing a little bit more, I noticed that people had more opportunity to actually live as an artist, but yet the same habits still kind of played in effect. And now where I see that we have a worldwide market of opportunity, I just thought for myself, I wanted to learn more. Aaron, which you may have heard at the beginning of it, is also my son. So there is a connection there. The good part about it is that we kind of come to the show on two different areas, but as creatives, as artists. Aaron is very tech savvy, very tech talented, and I thought it was interesting because I started kind of leaning on ideas from you on what to do, whether it was from marketing or how to present myself out there and learning things of technology. And in return, I've been in awe of the stuff that I've been learning, and I'm hoping that the show will kind of open that up. It will open up different things from meeting people who are living as artists. I plan on having a lot of fun with this and being creative with it and kind of joking off of each other and stuff, but really just creating a platform from learning to the common thread of art that, in my opinion, how it runs through everyday life, it runs through politics, it runs through how we dress. By the way, I have my Lucky Star Wars shirt on today. I don't know how, it has a little hole in it, so I don't know how lucky the shirt is, but
it's a holy shirt.
It is a holy shirt. And I'm started understanding that some of my better conversations I would have with people were, I'm also a hairstylist, so I do make a living within the creative industry, or I should say through a creative industry, but I'm always leaning towards other things. But one of the great things of being a hairdresser is I've met a lot of different people, and I started noticing also, as people knew that I was an artist, I paint, I sculpt, that people would talk to me in a way where like I can't do that stuff. And as I was interviewing them or talking conversation, I started noticing that indeed they actually did have creative things in their life, whether it was from cooking or hobbies or different things they did. So I started realizing that which I said earlier, everything from how I view politics, or how even now we're having all this stuff going on where social media is influencing a lot of different areas, whether good or bad, how we view it in politics, but that's also a creative part of it too. So that's really where this show, I'm hoping, ends up moving on and putting in video content in there, because we're very good looking dudes. So I don't want to take that away from anybody.
That's fair.
I want people to see that, obviously. More of I want to create content where or create a platform where people can take lessons, where people can get information. In your case, I look to you for a lot of tech stuff, as I said earlier. So I'm on a platform where people are going to be able to come up and be like, what is the best of this, or how do I use that? And especially as an artist, one of my, I don't want to call it a struggle, but one of my parts or platform where I am right now, I'm trying to understand where the priority is understanding, am I needing to be more of a marketeer? Am I needing to be a stronger artist with some marketing ideas? And I'm realizing that in the technology base of social, what's the word I'm not socialness, but in social networking and the openness of everything that's available to us, that I'm realizing that I do need to learn more as a marketeer or a possible marketeer. So that's where technology kind of lends its hand in there, and hopefully people will come to this platform and learn what to do. What about you? What's your ideas?
When we first started kind of talking about this podcast, it got me excited because there's so much openness to it. Because, like you were kind of mentioning, art and creativity is how do I phrase it? There's just so many different avenues, so many different ways to be creative and stuff like that, and so that leaves us open for a lot of different types of content that we can create, all revolving around artists and creative people and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to kind of like what you were saying, to learn the more business side of it as well, because a lot of times people who are creative and artsy fartsy are not great with business, or they have a hard time with the business
Right.
aspect, because it's very was it left brain? Is that the right
It's
term?
I always get it. Always get it backwards.
It's the opposite
Probably
side
like
of the brain.
whatever the analytical, technical, whatever side is, right or left, it's the opposite of that.
Yeah. So it's just like very often people who are very analytical have a hard time with creativity. Same with a lot of creatives, they have a hard time with the analytical part of it. So that's where business comes in, that's where marketing comes in. So those people who can bridge that gap, I find very interesting, and I'm excited to talk to those people.
Yeah,
and figure
that's
that out.
that's kind of what I'm looking for too. I shouldn't speak for anybody but myself, but I think that I'm still stuck in this idea of what a living is. You know, how someone makes a living, and I do know people on the artistic level of life in different, totally different mediums of life that make incredible livings, to someone's standard of idea of like, wow, you make that much money, all the way to people who just make enough that it supplies their needs.
Yeah.
And I'm finding, or I've met people who barter. I met people who trade.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's good, and that's actually part of one of the things I want to kind of explore in this show is just that I've started seeing opportunity of people who would be like, I'll trade you this for this,
Yeah.
or whatever that is, and whatever that would be. But there's value to it. One of my personal influences has always been Anthony Bourdain, and even though I'm not directly trying to make this show a artist's view of an Anthony Bourdain, show, but that ability to kind of go into communities or go into areas of people that you would never meet, you would never know, but some of these people may be struggling, maybe they're not.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a long time. Remember when I was friends with Bert, and we would always. It's a long time ago, and I was friends with this group of professional artists that worked in the digital industry for games and stuff. And we always we would always meet on Fridays at Fridays.
On Fridays at Friday.
So cliche, but it was. And I remember we would meet there, and it was quick and it was fast. We'd go over ideas, and that was it. But then I started reading different things on Fridays where they have those stupid lines going on the tables. Like you would see their patterns of lines going like this way, whatever. And I started reading, and that was intentional. It was to give people the feeling like they had to continue moving forward, so that it was a quicker rotation. So that what started getting to me was I thought somebody was paid to creatively think, how do I get these people out of here real fast?
Yeah.
And rotate people in. And as kooky as that sounds and as weird as that is, it still puts in there that on a creative level someone is constantly thinking, where in areas I wouldn't necessarily put that in the category of an artist, but they are.
There's going to be a lot of interviews. There's going to be a lot of talking about like the analytical and the marketing side of this, being an artist and all that stuff. We want to leave it open to other things too. Like we've talked about, doing gaming videos or music videos, things like that. Like what gets me, like I said, what gets me excited about this is that it's so open-ended, and we're going to make so much different kind of content. That way, maybe you'll be super stoked for one part of what we create, or all of it, or whatever. But there's going to be something for everyone if you like art, creativity, or if you're a creative or artistic person yourself.
I want to learn, and I think that's kind of what I'm hoping this show brings out for everybody. And I'm looking, I probably have said it 10 times in this filming of it and recording of it, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too, and we should actually have like an artist counter. Like every time we say artist, there needs to be like a little number in the corner.
It's like right there. Okay. So wait a minute. So if we're gonna do that, then there has to be the artist counter. Looking forward to it counter.
Looking forward to
I'm
it.
looking
Excited.
forward to it. Ding.
Does
Like,
looking forward and excited,
yes.
Are they the same thing, or are they separate counters?
By the way, both of us are heavily addicted to caffeine, so I can imagine throughout the shows that we'll do is we'll continue to highly caffeinate ourselves, and it will either get to the point where we're going to be funny, or you'll want to slap us, or we'll slap each other. It's kind of we're kind of that way. We'll for likes and whatever, we'll slap each other.
Yeah, well, if we ever do this live, and then we'll check the feed to see what people are saying. They say 1 for slap, 0 for no slap, and I guarantee you.
Who doesn't want to see a father-son show where they just slap each other? It's kind of cute. It hasn't been done.
It sounds like Ow My Balls from.
Wait, what was it?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yeah. It's just an hour and a half of just two people slapping each other.
But
it's a good movie.
But we will leave our balls alone.
Really quick, I want to do explain like our backgrounds.
Yes.
Myself, like I said, I am the son of this person. Son of a him.
Son of a him. You are a son of a him.
So he mentioned a little earlier, I am heavily into like tech stuff. Like I set all this stuff up. I do videography. That's like my main thing. I'll do photography. I'll do a little bit of hand drawings or some paintings. That's not really my thing. I'm more digital arts, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, doing just videos and stuff like that. So I'll shoot weddings. I'll shoot all sorts of good stuff. And I'm actually shooting this podcast and trying to do all the technical side to this podcast. So as things...
so you know who to contact if
it
things
sucks.
go wrong, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's all his fault.
If it sucks, this is a learning thing for me. I've never done a podcast before, so we'll figure this out as we go. And then as for... It's weird, I don't want to call you Jody, but I also don't want to call you my dad, because that's kind of weird.
It's okay.
Dad Jody.
Jojo.
So... He is a hairstylist by day and
crime fighter by night.
Crime
fighter by night.
So yeah, he does. He's been doing hair forever, and that in my
you just call me old.
You've been doing hair longer than I've been born.
That's good.
That's
true. No, that's actually true. A couple of years before you were born.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you know what? You can take it. I talked about myself. It's your turn.
Art has been a part of my life. Even I mean, I will expose myself. No, I'm not going to expose myself. No, I would expose old report cards back from kindergarten, first grade, where I just would get up, be like, screw this, I'm done with this lesson, and I would start drawing or painting. So it's always been a part of me, and it definitely helped me create the worlds that brought me up and got me attention, because as a kid I excelled in it. As going into my adulthood, I've learned different things. I'm through a really good friend of mine, Grant Peacock. I've learned oil painting. I was always afraid to kind of get into oil painting, and he was just like, "You got to get into it." So I started doing that. Started sculpting, but also the bread and butter, so to speak, has always been hairdressing for me, and so there's a definite artistic point to that. And the nice part about that was it has allowed me, I have been doing it for 30 years. So it has allowed me to meet all sorts of different kinds of people and a lot of different creatives and a lot of different very successful artists. And it's just always kind of laid inside of me as I want to be that, or I want to learn about that. But it always kind of just drove itself forward to wanting to be in that group of people and make it to where someone can come up and say I'm an artist, and it allowed people to understand that was not just a hobby or what's another view of that, but just where people were not getting the professional respect of what they were doing. And this goes back to a little time ago, where the first time that I felt really, really like, oh, well, I'm an artist, because another step back is, as an artist, at least in my opinion, it never stops. And it's kind of through this show what I want to see happen too is interviewing other people, because it really doesn't stop. You don't, as an artist, you don't go like, okay, I'm done 9 to 5, I'm an artist, and then I go home. The first time I felt really proud of myself as an artist was going into New Mexico, in Santa Fe to be specific, where before that, and this was probably about maybe like 12 years ago, and before that, you talk to people and it still felt to me that there was this kind of like, oh, that's cute, like, draw me something, monkey, or whatever, but it was kind of like, okay, but going into New Mexico, where people's houses were, the front lawns were galleries, and the inside of the houses were galleries. They were everywhere. And people were like, that's kind of this gathering area where artists met. And it was interesting because it was kind of like, wow, there are people who said, I'm an artist and I want to be an artist and make a living off of it. And that's where it kind of opened up for me. That's where it was like, I want to live and direct my life in that way to kind of take the natural talents and make them into something, but also interviewing other people, because I love talking to other people about how their life has developed from there. So,
did you see a lot of meth?
No, it wasn't like Breaking Bad. That was Albuquerque.
Well, yeah. So that's kind of what we're looking for with this podcast. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and keep the feedback coming out. We're gonna be, like I said, learning as we go here. So let us know what you like, what you don't like.
We're definitely gonna jumping in there really quickly off of our Patreon account. Subscribers are gonna get some pretty freaking awesome stuff that you're only gonna be able to get from there. We will have swag stuff. We're going to be out and about interviewing people, and we will have stuff to give away for that too, and to people just supporting us. So be on the lookout. It's gonna be pretty bitchy, man.
Yeah, and also if we're in San Diego, California. So if you're around and you're an artist, reach out to us.
You just brought up. I'm sorry, jump in there with that. It's kind of I know that was rude of me. I kind of see the need to actually show what San Diego has. I just was in an art show last night. I'm just realizing that there's so much, and for some reason I don't feel like there's the respectful kind of like we're kind of still in that shadow of LA, which I think LA has some stuff to offer, but I think San Diego has some beautiful, amazing things to offer on the creative level, the artistic level, both as an observer and as an artist. So I'm kind of looking to make San Diego known for that.
Yeah, we're totally not the worst.
We're not the worst. We're not. It's going to be fun, and I hope you just kind of come on this journey with us. That didn't sound right. I hope you come along on this journey with us. It just sounded bad. I mean,
don't come on our journey.
Yeah, don't come on our journey.
That's essentially where it just became an adult podcast.
Ooh,
so
yeah. I kind of look forward to being a little potty mouth here.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of looking forward to it. Yeah,
I can't keep that shit in.
Yeah, see? I think it's kind of an exciting adventure for a dad and a son. I mean, I think we're peers as well, but I think it's kind of exciting to see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Come on in!
What? So confused.